Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Sarah from Who I Am Among the Pages, and if you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you're not, thanks for sticking around. So, as I've mentioned in the past couple videos, and as I'm sure everyone knows, we are finally in the new year, so that not only means that we get to start over another month, another year, but of course, another month has ended. So as a reader, I, read plenty, what I think is plenty, in the month of December, and for today I am here to wrap it up for you. So during the month of December, my TBR included 5 books, I believe, and I ended up getting through 4 of them, which is pretty good for me because I'm just now getting to the point where I can get through books pretty quickly. So getting into this, the first book I read in the month of December of 2020, it is not 2020 anymore, was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This was a reread for me, and if you haven't read this, this follows the protagonist Farah, who comes from a family that has fallen on very hard times, and she has to hunt in order to take care of her family. One night in the woods, she's out hunting and shoots a wolf in self-defense. Little does she know the wolf turns out to not be quite what it seemed, and she is swept away into the world of the Fae, where there is also a blight on the land, so we find out. Things are not going well for them either. Just as they're not going well for the humans on the other side of the wall. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, and I just loved it. If you guys know me, anything Beauty and the Beast, anything even remotely related to Beauty and the Beast, I will snatch it and read it or watch it or own it, whatever. I love Beauty and the Beast. And so originally when I was 15 and heard that Sarah J. Maas was coming out with a new series of books and it was Beauty and the Beast inspired, I had to have it. So rereading this now, it definitely held up to how much I loved it. It's very much more focused on the romance than I quite remembered it being. But I feel like the romance is very well done. Farah is a character that isn't easily swayed by other people, and she really sticks to her own guns. It's a very good book. The fantasy in this is very well done. The world building is just incredible, and I love the characters in it. We have some characters that are just so despicable, you just hate them. Then you have other like morally gray characters. Just great. I loved it when I read it for the first time, and I love it now. And I cannot wait to get into the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. Again, a reread for me after I finish the book I am working on now. So 5 out of 5 stars. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Please pick this up if you have not. So the second book I read in the month of December was Dumplin by Julie Murphy. This follows a protagonist named Willow Dean Dixon, and she is a self-proclaimed fat girl. It says that right there on the cover. It's not focusing. Anyway, so she's grown up in the world of pageants. She's obsessed with Dolly Parton, but she's never quite been a pageant girl herself. Although her mom was a winner of the Miss Texas, Texas Teen Bluebonnet. I can never remember what all it's called, but Miss Teen Bluebonnet Beauty Pageant. That's what it is. She's never been a pageant girl herself, even though her mom was a winner of this. She's a bigger girl, but she's confident in her own right until things start happening. She loses somebody. She meets a boy that makes her question who she is, why she's confident, why she should be confident. And this details her struggles with that after she enters the Miss Teen Bluebonnet pageant herself. So it's challenging, beauty standards. It tries to be very body positive. Now, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads because if you watch my review of it, although I really enjoyed it because it's very gossipy and drama-y, if you like something like Dance Moms and Toddlers and Tiaras, like that kind of stuff, I really think you'll like this book because it has the same kind of gossip dripping vibe to it. It's very pageant world-esque because you're following a teenage girl who is becoming involved with that. But aside from the fact that it takes place in a pageant, although this is trying to be body positive, fat positive, she does so in a way that craps on other women, and she's like constantly crapping on other people, and she's kind of manipulative, kind of using people a lot. And although I do enjoy seeing a very body positive book because I am a bigger person myself, this was not the way to do it, and it could have been done better. It was very entertaining, that's why I still gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but I found the way that she talked about other people kind of disgusting, especially when it's her best friend. There's no reason to be mad at your best friend just because she's skinny and you're not, even though you claim to be comfortable with that. So sorry. Was very entertaining. Would still recommend, but be warned that the main character, Dumplin, or Willadine, is kind of a hateful person at times. So the third book I read in December was Bone Criers Moon by Catherine Purdy. And I'll be honest, I originally bought this book as a cover buy because the cover is just gorgeous. So this book does follow 3 different perspectives. 2 of them are, I would go as far as to call them a witch-like character called Bone Criers, or the Luris in their own lore. So basically, these women, they're exclusively women, are the farriers of the dead from the present, or this world, into the afterlife. And in order to do that, they gain their powers through collecting the bones of different animals. And each animal gives them a different power, and they also are a sort of siren. Before they can become officially farriers of the dead, they have to go through the rite of passage, which is attracting their mate, their soulmate, with this mystical bone flute, and then they have to kill them. The third perspective in this book is a boy that whose father was killed by a bone crier. So he's out for vengeance. The other 2 perspectives are just trying to get on with their lives, trying to go on, become bone criers, become full Luris. And this is what this follows when those 2 parties collide with very different ideas. It's very interesting. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars because although I did get bored with it at times, like there was just a lot of like, oh, this happened, let's go run here. Oh, well, it happened again, let's just run here. Like, it was kind of repetitive, but it had such a unique magic system in it that I still found it very entertaining, especially after we had learned what the magic system is. Once we figured it out, it was really enjoyable to read more in the world of, and I really liked it. I definitely have to give her props because it's nothing like anything I had ever read before. Although, I did get bored with it at times. So the last book then I read for the entire year was The Secret of Sarah Revere by Anne Rinaldi. And I hate saying my own name. I don't know why that feels so strange. But I did give this 4 out of 5 stars because it's a very entertaining read if you like historical fiction or you're trying to get into historical fiction. This follows the second oldest daughter of Paul Revere. And of course, Paul Revere, the Midnight Ride, right before, on the eve of Lexington and Concord, he supposedly knows who fired the first shot, the shot around the world that started the American Revolution. So this book mainly takes place right on the eve of the Revolution as things are starting to heat up. We see the Boston Tea Party happen during this, and we get a very inside look at the politics of the time and who one of the most famous icons in American history was to his family and behind the scenes. And you sort of see what the effects of these politics were on very real people. One of my favorite things about this book was how realistic the characters were. They just seem very human, very open. Each of the characters, a lot of them are children, but they still have distinct personalities with very childlike fears and hopes, and it's really enjoyable, and I loved it. Now, I will say, the reason I didn't give it 5 out of 5 stars is because it's not the most memorable book. I just read it, and although I enjoyed it, and I can recall, the main parts of it, it just kind of went along pretty smoothly, and although there were parts that I was like, I can't believe that happened, now I'm like, yeah, I can. It's an entertaining read, but it's not the most memorable read. But I do still recommend if you are just starting into historical fiction, or you just want an easy read. It does have a rather sad ending, though, I will warn you. If you're not a fan of sad endings that don't really wrap up the way you thought they were going to, or don't really wrap up to the benefit of all the characters, then this might not be for you. I do enjoy it though, and it is a historical fiction read that takes place during a war, during the beginning of the war, and doesn't have a whole lot of gore, if that's not for you. So I don't think anything in that book is very harmful, and I do believe right here, let me cover that up, it says where I bought it. Right there it says 10 to 14. Hopefully you can see that. So it is meant for a younger audience. It does read like a book meant for a younger audience. There's not a whole lot of words on each page, but it's a very sweet story, and I enjoyed it. And I have one more of Anne Rinaldi's that I don't think I've read, because that was actually a reread for me, even though I didn't realize it when I bought it. And that is Finishing Becca, down there next to my chip mug. So I will be reading that here in the near future, hopefully. So yeah, that pretty much sums up what I read in the month of December. I have to say, even though I had a lot going on, I was dealing with, you know, family stuff that has, you know, gotten better but still going on. I moved, finals week, the holidays. I am very proud of how much I read, and although I wish I'd read more, I'm still content with what I got through and thoroughly enjoyed a lot of what I did get through during the month. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up for today. As always, my Goodreads is linked down below in case you want to keep up with what I'm reading, and my Wattpad is also down there in case you want to keep up with what I'm writing. The first update in a long time to number 9 comes out Tuesday, and I cannot remember what the date for Tuesday will be for the life of me. So yeah, I think it's the 5th. Tuesday the 5th should be the first update, and it'll be chapter 44. I am thinking about going ahead and plotting, even though I don't plot very well, just so I can make sure I get this wrapped up quickly. So yeah, that's coming up. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good day.